Greetings, YouTube. This is a weird way to start out this video, but I want to say thank you to everybody who is supporting my channel while I'm on this vacation. This is the first time that I've been able to celebrate the engagement of Israel and I with my family in Texas, and it's just been the best time. And I know that to a lot of people, it's crazy that I'm still even recording YouTube videos while on vacation, but I love doing this so much that it's actually like a dessert on top of a dessert trip, if that makes any sense. Which is a weird way to start out this video because you're looking at a summoner that between this screenshot and this screenshot won one match and mainly now matches up against like half legend titles. And I'm not saying that you're a great player if you're a legend, because a legend title isn't what it used to be. And I know that because I have one. And I have never considered myself a legend in this community skill-wise, and I never will. But I have one. Because not once but twice, I have gone through the entire Sector 25 thanks to Hercules, which again, does Hercules make you a legend? I guess by association, but he also puts the game on easy mode. If I had to complete all 25 sectors with anybody else, even somebody like Angela, I probably would have used a lot more items. So that is to say, we are doing a year in review on this channel. We are talking about the state of the game and, most importantly, the future of the game. And Battlegrounds is still, for all things considered, Kabam's biggest hope to continue to make money and get people to care about playing the game, if not every day, certainly every week. And there are people that now only play this game because of Battlegrounds. It is their favorite mode, even when the meta is so annoying that you're winning 1 out of like 14 matches. Or maybe this is 1 out of 12 matches, I think. Either way, what do you do when that happens? You may look at this and say, well, I would never lose 11 out of 12 matches. This is like the 4th person that's contacted me this year that's lost 11 of 12 matches. So I'm not saying it's a huge percent of the community, but it's enough to where multiple people have reached out with the same. And I've, by the way, shout out to our man Darth Vader for this. I've seen people who go 0 for 12 in matches. So at least you won one. And, shout out when you beat Capitano 67. You didn't lose one match there. And you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches all lose in the 3rd round. And so also what makes Battlegrounds weird is if you get swept by someone and get blown out, you have the same loss as if you lost by 1 point in round 3. And I'm not saying Kabam can do this, but if you lose in a sport by 1 point on a last-second field goal or a last-second kick, that means you were way more competitive than if you got blown out by 6 goals or 40 points. And so I think Kabam's got to figure out a way, because these players end up saying, I suck at this game, I don't want to play this game anymore, and it just makes their experience way worse. Battlegrounds was designed to get people to play the game more, but if you lose like this, you're actually more motivated to play the game less. And that's a real problem. That's a problem that Kabam has to tackle in 2024 because they don't want what they view to be the cash cow of their whole game mode to be driving more people away. And the problem is with July 4th week and Cyber Week sales, if you buy $1,000 plus worth of purchases, your roster is going to be transformed overnight. And if all things are equal, I mean, I can't tell you how many people I can tell are just way better players than me, but I've beaten them in Battlegrounds because my defenders have more attack and they have more health than the ones that I'm fighting. And so if all things are equal skill-wise, I'm going to win because I'm going to down the defender faster. Now, Kabam knows this, and that's why they want Battlegrounds to be the case because, hey, if you buy another $300 worth of purchases, you can take 2 or 3 more 6 stars to rank 5, or now, my personal favorite, you can ascend 2 or 3 of your favorite 6 stars. Well, that's so enticing and intoxicating of a premise, not just because of Battlegrounds, but because your favorite champions you use for questing, heck, even the arena incursions, are going to be better. So I get why it's tempting to blow more money, but also a lot of people can't spend as much on this game anymore. They can't justify it. The Marvel Casino of Champions has less money for the casino part of it. And so if you don't spend during Cyber Week, you risk going from winning half your Battlegrounds matches to like 10% of your Battlegrounds matches. And so in a way, you're getting punished by not spending hundreds of dollars. And Kabam can say, hey, you don't have to spend during Cyber Week. And it's like, okay, but then I'm going to go up against everybody who did, and I'm going to be at a severe disadvantage. And that's what I've seen, and that's what honestly makes me feel guilty about my roster, because I would not be able to afford this kind of roster without my YouTube channel. And yes, I work extremely hard to make content, and I should be proud of that. And I am proud of that. But it's just a consequence of that I end up making it to Gladiator Circuit this year, which I did not want to do, by the way. I won too many matches, first world problem, and end up thinking, like, this is dumb. I don't want this. So all in all, Kabam really has no one to blame for this but themselves, because if they say, hey, why are players not engaging in Battlegrounds? Like, let's say the traffic in Battlegrounds is down. My alliance, maybe yours is different. My alliance didn't even get to like 4 million points so far as an alliance. And we have a full alliance, a full 30 members, because almost no one's doing Battlegrounds. It's like if you don't give us a special incentive for better rewards, both solo and alliance-wise, then it feels like it's an off-season between months. And so this is the state of the game. And if it's not an off-season, maybe you get more players that have like middle-of-the-road rosters in Battlegrounds, and you wouldn't lose 12 matches. But if only the most competitive people play Battlegrounds during the off-season, then players like this aren't going to have a chance. And it will affect how much they love the game, and it's not rocket science. The more you lose, the less likely and motivated you are to spend. And Kabam is a for-profit company. So why would you want to go through something that makes you hate the game more, that makes you regret not having money to spend or recklessly spend in a lot of ways on this game during whale holidays? And why would you spend money in the future? I mean, it just is a byproduct of so much of what makes perfect sense about the worst parts of this game, but Kabam doesn't want us to talk about. They only want to talk about things like Battlegrounds in a positive sense. They want everybody to be so excited when the new Battlegrounds season hits. And if I'm them, in fairness, I want the same thing, because that's how a for-profit company makes the most money, and that's how a game survives. I cannot believe this game still exists. I thought this thing had a 4-year lifespan max. And if they hadn't made the changes that they made, Kabam Mike actually said this on the forums this week, the game would be dead. If they hadn't transitioned to 6 stars when they did, if they hadn't transitioned to a black ISO store market when they did, or even a $5 unit offer, all these microtransactions that keep the game healthy in between whale holidays, either that or they would have just had to do a whale holiday now like every month, and no one could afford that. But keep in mind, they have things like the spring cleaning event and the Caps commissary event that are brand new in the last couple of years to give players a reason to spend more between July and November. And so I expect that is a pattern that's going to continue, because companies don't just want to make money. They want to tell their investors, hey, we made even more money this year. And the community, make no mistake about it, is shrinking. Maybe not by a lot, but it is not growing at the rate it did 4 years ago. And so that means the people who still play it, you have to milk them dry more in order to keep going and pay the bills. So this Battlegrounds loss history in front of you is actually an example of what it means to milk the whales. Because if the whales aren't milked, then the guppies are going to fight the whales, and the guppies are going to lose, and then they're going to wonder why they still play the game. So I know this is a video that touches on a lot of important topics all at once, but I appreciate that I had a reason to do this. So, Mr. Darth Vader, I know this is not the world you want to live in, where you're losing 11 out of 12 Battlegrounds matches, but it is a result of a larger systematic shift. And yes, take a shot if you want. The economy of the game has changed forever. Because when this happens, you can't compete like you did 3 months ago. And that is a reflection of the game economy.